And our panelists are going to join us now to weigh in on what we've heard so far in this story that we've been following. Bobby Epperly, Jesse Jane Duff, and Rebecca Walser. And Sean, you were pointing out a person reaching out on social media saying that they were just going through their Kleenex box because it was so emotional. And Jesse Jane, it's impossible to ignore the feelings that you have that are brought forward when you hear the conversation about the lives of these officers who are gone too soon. Jesse Jane.
Yes, listening to the wife and the brother speak was tear-jerking. There was no other way to describe how emotional that was. But going past that, what I appreciated the wife calling out was the ridiculous laws that have been in place that are enabling this. For example, the New York Post had reported that a New York police officer a man had attempted to attack him, and he was a previous convict who was convicted of attacking a New York police officer, was released without cash because of their cashless bail. They have had an arsonist who was released without a bail and turned around and murdered a woman and her child. That crime surge in New York City has been astronomical. Burglaries, arson, and shootings up over 166%. You are now creating an environment where police officers are the target. They know that they cannot actually arrest people and keep them in jail. They know that the laws are stacked against them. And in order for this to subside, they have to crack down, and they have to crack down hard. But you have a DA, you have a state, you have lawmakers, Democratic lawmakers, sad to say, have supported this cashless bail, and they're watching the surge across the country. This is not the only place it's happening, as Sean indicated. We're seeing it all over the country. And with this, you're seeing the suffering of these families, of those men who have essentially given their lives to protect others, and selfishly was taken away by the laws that do not allow them to enforce what they are there to do.
Bobby Epperly, I know you're watching this as well as our panelists. I'm just curious to know your thoughts when you see Fifth Avenue full of men and women in blue. I mean, it's a wow moment.
I mean, seeing those and hearing the speeches and Sean and Emma. I mean, it's powerful. It's tragic, but on the other hand, it's maddening as well. I mean, there's always going to be evil in this world. But we need to look beyond, and we need to say, are these evil people being aided and abetted by our system? What is being done here with this defund the police? And it goes beyond legislators. It goes to judges, too, with this bail system and poor enforcement and poor handling of court dockets. It goes beyond cities. It spreads out. We just had a law enforcement officer killed here in the Houston area, Charles Galloway, a county law enforcement official, killed by a career criminal who then fled to Mexico. And this spreads to neighboring counties. That's violence that is erupting because of the lack of effort and actually malice from these Democrats and these far left officials. It is affecting neighborhoods outside the inner cities. It's tragic. And if any time there is to vote, not just for legislators, city council members, people like that, Congress people, but also judges. We need to get good judges in place so that these violent offenders stay in jail.
Yeah, Rebecca, this is a time where politicians who are either attending this funeral in person or watching it on TV, as we are as well, could take action to prevent something like this, a tragedy like this, from happening.
Emma, I consider New York a second home to me. I went to NYU. And it's heartbreaking. I literally am trying to hold back the tears because these aren't platitudes. These things that people go out and say about, hey, let's give people a second chance with no cashless bail, or the discretion that these corrupt prosecutors have, these DAs have, to not prosecute crime so people know they can just continue on a crime wave with no repercussions. These have real effects. And this is what we're seeing before our very eyes as a country. We are witnessing crime take over our cities. And our politicians stand by and let it happen. It has got to end. It has got to stop.
Yeah, well said. Panelists, if you could stay with us, we continue to follow the funeral of slain NYPD officer Jason Rivera. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have continued to follow the emotional funeral procession of Officer Jason Rivera. That just wrapping up at St. Patrick's Cathedral. We watched it live together, now processing to Westchester, where he will be laid to rest.
Yeah, we'll bring our panelists back in to listen to this. We're just going to catch the viewers up and you guys as well. Some of the sound that came, this is Dominique Rivera, I believe, the wife of Jason Rivera, speaking earlier.
The system continues to fail us. We are not safe anymore. Not even the members of the service. I know you were tired of these laws, especially the ones from the new DA. I hope he's watching you speak through me right now.
Just a powerful moment. Jesse Jane Duff, when that happened, what went through your mind?
Well, for those who serve, whether it be in the military or in the police force, we know the risk, but at the same time, we expect that our leadership will defend us and ensure that we are as safe as possible. To know that the DA has set up laws that have crippled the crime problem for the police to be able to address crime problem and is now costing their lives. It was a powerful funeral, and like you said, Sean, we'll need to watch it.
You hear that, by the way?
I know. I do. I was going to point it out. I don't know if our mics are picking it up, but we can hear it in our studio in New York City. Police sirens as they pass by our New York office here, Bobby. I mean, this city is paying their respects because they know that this is an ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking to watch. But amen to what Jesse Jane just said, that these law enforcement officers have an expectation that the people paying them, these government officials, are on their side. And what we've seen is they're on the side of disorder, of lawlessness, of career criminals, of violent offenders. That needs to change.
Let me show a couple of things, and I apologize. I'm sorry, what was that again? Oh, okay, I think we're out of time now. All right, panelists, Bobby Eberle, Jesse Jane Duff, we appreciate all your time.
Rebecca, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us. We'll have more National Report on the other side of this break.